what's going on? This is the Nerds of Combat YouTube revamp. So, welcome. We got Admin Negro Lantern, Admin Thor, Admin Doom, and today we got about 3 topics for you today. They got what would you change about the Batman mythos, Heroes Reborn in the Jason Aaron interview, and the release the cut, such as Snyder, Ayers. Then, of course, now apparently they got a JJ cut for Star Wars, and if it's good or bad. So, first thing first, Batman mythos. Admin Negro Lantern, in our personal chat, we was having a good discussion about that, about what we would do to the Batman mythos and the Batman family. So, what would be the first thing that you would want to change if you were running the Batman mythos for the Infinite Frontier DC storyline? How would you change it, and what would you do first?
Well, first off, I wouldn't take the mantle from Bruce. That's not even as an option. I personally believe that there's only one Batman and should only be one Batman, thus why the Bat family exists. So that's that. I would move Bruce onto a more important role, like where his focus is more so on, as you said, the Justice League missions. He focuses way more on the Justice League because the Justice League has a lot of things going on now, especially with the absence of Wonder Woman, so I would move him way more there. And then I would pick up with the Bat family. I would have Alfred take over as the leader. I would have them have a whole new headquarters. I would make the Joker actually a side character in the story, to throw people off a little bit, but to also add a new dynamic to something we've never seen take place with like the Bat family characters as a whole. I would make the dilemma be for Bruce, that the team actually functions well without him, and under Alfred's guide, they seem to function almost exceptionally well. It creates an issue for Bruce where Bruce is like, was I always in the way? Was I the thing that kept Gotham from getting cleaned up? And, the teams actually go out in quadrants around Gotham, just like Nightwing is and New Haven. They join up in squads and they actually patrol in squads, and they consistently actually have successful missions, right? Point blank, period. Like, this has never been done with the Batman stories. I absolutely would love to see this happen. I would love to see like parts in the story, or I would love to write like parts in the story where the team points out, hey, we took down Grundy. It didn't destroy one bus line. Nothing, no property damage. Like, I would love to see that take place. I would love to see a moment where like Jason Todd is like, okay, I don't have time for this, with Killer Croc pops an actual Superman pill because, Jason Todd's the extremist, pops the pill, takes Killer Croc down, and it throws him in the cell, and it's like, yo, again, no property damage. And it's an ongoing joke throughout the whole series. I would love it. As I told you, I would title it Under the Signal, because that's what it's all about in Gotham City. It's when you see that signal go up, it either antagonizes you or it gives you hope, so that's what I would name the entire storyline. But that's for me. The short synopsis of that whole thing.
Admin Thor, anything you disagree with? Anything that you would personally want to see if you were running the Batman mythos?
I think I would do something kind of similar to what Joey was saying, but change it a bit more. So instead of like having Bruce move more towards the Justice League, I would just get rid of Bruce and like have the Batman mantle taken in a different like manner. Like, Batman's all cool and all, but let's be honest, he's too busy focused on, taking on the big boys and not dealing with like smaller crimes, because you see him deal with smaller crimes from time to time, but like clearly it's Nightwing and the other Bat family dealing with, other annoying hassles and not just the Joker. I also think a bunch of side characters that they've introduced need a lot more screen time and developed, like, what's his name, Duke. I think Duke has a lot of potential, especially since I'm pretty sure, like, wasn't his ability something to do with being able to see the future in some form or manner?
Yes,
Daredevil.
He has precognition to a certain extent.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see him as take over as like a full-blown Oracle type character where it's just like he's using his precognition and having all these databases everywhere to like lower crime in a drastic way because he's able to be like, oh well, this is going to happen in exactly 20 minutes. Send the team there, deal with it before it even breaks down. Um, and then if you get Batman out of the way, you get Joker out of the way because Joker has like doesn't care anymore, right? That's just the way the Joker works. What's going to happen is Batman's gone. Joker's going to like do a bunch of crazy shit. And he sees Batman's not going to pull up, and then he's just going to stop being him. He's going to like fuck off, do other things. And I think you could do like better routes with like they really never focus on like the Wayne Corporation stuff with Batman. It's just always funding himself to do all this shit. I think it'd be interesting to be like, well, we know there's like we know you can change people, right? Like Jason Todd and stuff, where you can like people from different backgrounds and train them up to be these type of vigilantes. And I think like making more characters vigilante-esque, like just random characters. Like you have that guy who was really against the Joker, wasn't it? Like that new one they introduced, wasn't he like Spanish or something? Yeah.
Middle Eastern.
Yeah, Middle Eastern. Yeah. The new one they just introduced. Yeah, like get people like him who are just against crime, but like teach them what's right and what's wrong, and not like have it be like, oh, you're a bad guy, time to kill you, that sort of thing, right? And then I just think it'd be more important to like have it so you're targeting Gotham and less of like big aspects of here's the big villains and more of well here's the smaller like things, here's all like the drug crime and stuff, and here's all like all this shit, and then have like smaller individuals take care of that than big crazy shit going on. I just think it'd be a bit more interesting than random cunt in a fucking suit beating up mentally ill people.
Oh wow, okay. Okay. Now you said get rid of the Batman. Like now you pretty much said get rid of the Batman. So how are you getting rid of the Batman?
I say crippling. I genuinely think like he should like basically the way they did it in like Batman Beyond, where he's like, it's just no way he's coming back into that mantle, and nobody should take up that mantle because it causes far too much more chaos than it like solves. Because yeah, sure, he's there, he does all this good shit, and then next hurdle is a lot more bigger than the last one. That's just what happens because of Batman. So yeah, I think just getting rid of him altogether in some form or fashion would be just far better.
I don't need. You went the whole cripple route. Okay. Yeah. Doom. What about you?
All right. First, I would kill Batman off. Just.
Oh my fucking god! What is your problem?
No, listen to me though. Listen to me though. It's kind of a mixture between what Negro Lantern and Thor said. I would kill off Batman, right? But at the same time, I would make it to where Batman finally breaks his one rule to never kill. But he goes out, taking out his biggest threats, the Joker, Penguin, I almost called him fucking Hammerhead, Black Mask. He gets all of his major villains in a room and basically suicides himself, And
time.
Hold up, man. This is the Injustice universe. Hold up, man. He's going somewhere.
So you just want them to like
see what this is about.
And once he suicides himself, everything in Gotham starts to prosper. There's no, of course there's still crime like there is everywhere else, but there's no major crime syndicates. There's no big bosses. There's no, there's no Jokers running around. And because there's no Batman to make people, want to test Batman, Gotham is just a normal city. It's starting to thrive. Now, of course, this is Batman, so he's prepped some shit out. All of his business affairs go to Damian when he gets older, but until Damian gets older, they go to Alfred. Nightwing takes over, basically Nightwing inherits the Batcave pretty much. Every member of the Bat fam inherits something from Bruce. But altogether, I feel like the best way to deal with Batman at this point in time is to kill him off and that would hopefully let people realize, that would hopefully make people realize that Batman is more of a nuisance than he is a hero.
So y'all two Negroes went in the total opposite direction.
You gotta look, man. I feel like you have to kill him off. You have to.
No, you do not have to kill off Batman.
Yeah, 100% do, bro.
No, my
You definitely have to kill him off.
You need to get rid of that mantle some way, bro. It just brings more nuisances than it does, like, you know.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Somebody can always find out that Bruce Wayne was Batman and Bruce Wayne is still alive. If you kill Batman and kill Bruce Wayne, well, there goes a lot of the problems in Gotham right there. Nope, there's nobody around. There's nobody around.
Jesus. Y'all are killing me right now. Y'all
I don't know what you want from me, bro.
There's nobody around.
Look, at least I didn't take like the right of like wanting him to be a suicide bomber whilst inviting all of his friends over. Like, I don't know what Doom was on with that.
Yeah,
like,
man, but Doom took it straight Metal Gear 2, nigga.
Let him break it.
He was like, let Batman turn into Fat Man. All right.
Let him break his rule one time.
Here's a misconception about his rule. His rule is not to kill.
It's not to kill with guns.
It's not to kill with a gun, which is why in Final Crisis, when Darkseid won and he held the gun with the radar and bullet, he said, "For this one time, I'm gonna make an exception." It is clear that his rule is to not kill with the gun, because
in this case in point, I'm pretty sure his another one rule is to not suicide himself. So here we go.
Why would you not just go all out, bro? Why would you not just have him break his own rule by him shooting himself?
Batman had this rule because the AR-15 wasn't so popular at the time.
Yo, look, man, all I'm saying is if you kill Batman, you get rid of a lot of problems in Gotham.
Yes.
No,
you don't.
You don't have to kill him. Kill him. You just have to get his morals out of the way. You have to take him. That's why I would have wrote the story that way. You have to get the man.
Because then all the Robins can prosper. It's like
yes,
it's like
all the
Robins. It's not about the Robins though.
Out the way. You don't have like
because now look at like Joey said. Now you have Red Hood who can do what he wants to do. When Killer Croc's running the rampage, he could just pop a Superman.
Whoa. And that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
No,
I said Red Hood is the extremist. That's what I said.
You know what I think they could actually do? No, I actually take it back. You know what they can do? We can Planet Hulk it, right? So we can launch Batman into space, realizing he's the problem.
Cut his mic. No, we're not doing that either. Y'all are. Oh, Jesus Christ, no.
And I'm the one that don't like DC. All right, I got it.
I actually had it's funny because I actually had a plan not only for, and I know I'm going to go on a little tangent here, so just bear with me. Not only for Batman, but for Superman and Wonder Woman. I wanted to do what Marvel rushed to do, which was rushing to get the legacy characters out there in replace of the heroes. I wanted to be a slow process. So like Admin Negro Lantern was saying, you get Bruce, you start like for me, I have a retirement plan. Like Superman, Wonder Woman, Bruce Wayne, all of them, they're going to set to retire. So that way the new wave can start to come in, like such as you get Bruce Wayne to deal with just Justice League stuff only. You have Alfred run everything. You have Lucius Fox build, not only keep up with Wayne Enterprises as he normally does, but you build them a new headquarters. I like the idea of having Joker under just a permanent cell where he can never, ever, 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 ever get out. And there's no amount of story. There's no amount of plot. There's no amount of a DC head wanting Joker to get out of here.
Why don't you just lock him up in the Batcave then?
Turn him into Hannibal Lecter.
You know what's crazy? Magic, they don't realize how close to the conversation we had they are.
Exactly.
They don't even realize.
We'll just lock him up in the Bat. Just lock him in the Batcave and call it a day.
I mean, you could do that too. The Batcave is technically a maze, so if he kills himself, it's on accident. So
yeah, but locking Joker up in the Batcave is like saying, "Hey, man, I got you an apartment, but you already had the keys before I purchased the place." Like the man knows his way around. Like he probably opens up, some old bar that you guys didn't even realize was there.
Of course not. Don't let the motherfucker just run around rampant through the Batcave. But I'm saying, like, have his cell built into the Batcave.
Or you could just kill him off.
You guys are so close to what me and Magic talked about. You don't even understand. I literally told Magic that if I wrote the story, the way I would do it was that Alfred had plans, or had a protocol that he enacted for a new headquarters that was at the nexus of Gotham. And inside that headquarters, the original intention for that protocol was actually to be a cell for the Joker. It was to be a humanitarian cell for the Joker to stay in. That means that there was no way for Joker to leave, but it had all the necessities Joker would have needed. That's what made it humane. And a team turns it into a headquarters, and Joker is actually just freely walking around the headquarters, talking to these guys, just kind of like you see on the Power Rangers at the Shake Shack, right? And it becomes that kind of dynamic where Joker doesn't even want to leave. He just stays talking to the team members and fucking with them consistently, but it kind of grossly turns into mentorship, and Joker actually ends up helping them take on some of the other crime lords, because it's all entertainment to the Joker, and without Bruce, there's no reason to go to any extreme. Just not as that none of the havoc is worth anything without Bruce being involved.
But see, at that point, I feel like you're giving him a pass for all of his past sins.
No, this is what they need to do, right?
I don't see how you could come to that conclusion. He's still locked away from society.
This is what you should do, right? You should just have 4 comic book pages, right? It's all dedicated to Red Hood eviscerating Joker's dead body for him to be nowhere brought back. No Lazarus Pit or anything, just gone. Like, I mean, destroying the ashes.
Give Jason a new power that lets him revive, people that he's killed with the All Blades, and just let him come up with more creative ways to kill Joker with the All Blades.
Okay, I'm not a sociopath like that, right?
Like y'all, you two Negroes are on some other stuff.
I feel like you knew my answer to this question before you asked it, because you knew how much I hate Batman.
Yes, I did. I did. This is. I figured
I don't like Batman.
I figured you would at least keep that to the side to have somewhat of a discussion.
Kill him off. That's the best way to fix the DC universe, to kill Batman off.
But people swear I hate Marvel, and I don't even go this route.
Yeah, you can't kill off. You can, but you can't kill off the entire Marvel universe. I can kill off Batman for good.
Anyways, Jesus.
That's going off the DC universe.
Batman is the multiverse. Did you not get that?
Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. But anyways, speaking of the Marvel universe, Jason Aaron did an interview recently on Marvel Entertainment talking about Heroes Reborn. And it pretty much, he's going back into pretty much Marvel's history. He's restarting Civil War. He's doing like pretty much, instead of the Avengers being here, it is the Squadron Supreme that is the Earth's premier team. And the only person that realizes that something is different, spoilers for those that don't know, I know Heroes Reborn hasn't come out yet, but for those that haven't watched the interview, Blade is going to be at the forefront, and he is going to be pretty much the only person that remembers how the world used to be. And of course, as we know, with some of the things that we've heard about Heroes Reborn, of course, Dr. Doom has the power of the Sidorak, so now he's Doom Not. Like I said,
that seems cool. That sounds really cool.
Squadron Supreme is pretty much the Avengers. The Avengers will be coming back at the end, but they're going to be seen as evil or the evil oppressors. And then, of course, you hear stories like Power Princess beating not only other major threats, but she's beating Magog. And for those of you that don't know who Magog is, he is a prime.
Isn't that Manhandle Thor?
Prime.
You're so Texas. He got this Whataburger cup. Just go ahead. Is that a shake? You got a Whataburger shake, boy?
Yeah.
A prime golden threat. And I mean prime Odin, I mean the Odin that was going against characters and was affecting the multiverse. So
Just go ahead and say it. He manhandled Thor with ease.
yes, manhandled Thor, manhandled Odin, the person that is a billion Asgardian, and correct me if I'm wrong, Thor, a billion Asgardian souls. And yes, is able to manhandle. So, and this is the reason why I wanted to bring Admin Thor on in the first place. How do you feel about Power Princess doing better than Odin and Thor? And
you know what it is, bro? I have an issue with Heroes Reborn altogether, right? It doesn't make sense. You have at least like 3 characters in that story.
Hey, can I translate what he just said? He has a problem with Jason Aaron. All right, go.
Yeah.
Yes, Jason Aaron. Yeah, Jason Aaron. Literally, right? There is at least 3 characters in this story where this shouldn't, like, this shit shouldn't be happening with, right? So we have Blade. Okay, that's fine, right? What do you call it? Heroes Reborn's already been a thing, and they already like explained shit like, you know, you can't be doing this normally. So I don't know how they're going to pull off this crazy shit where it's going to be canon to 616, and you know it's still going to be continuing down the line, and like just with the shit alone in the Thor comics, I don't know how Power Princess is beating Mangog, and or how any cosmic entity is warping Thor to the point where like downgraded him and made him forget shit, right? Because it was made clear in the first Heroes Reborn that there's characters like Thor and other people that are just like, yeah, you can't be just shitting out crazy reality warping abilities and, you know, thinking it's going to affect these characters, because it's not, because Franklin Richards tried it and it didn't work. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how it's going to be canon to 616. Fuck Jason Aaron, right?
That's what it all boils down to.
That's pretty much what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
Because as you don't know, Admin Thor is a huge Thor fan. And Jason Aaron for the past, what is it now? 5 years?
5 years. 5 years.
Yeah, past 5 years.
Oh my God, look at him. He's like, oh my God. He's like, you sons of bitches.
Pretty much for the past 5 years has said,
I'm about to drop it this track.
Has pretty much said anything that you knew about Thor, throw that shit in the trash. Thor currently, now mind you, this is currently, he has Mother Gaia powers. He is the son of the Phoenix Force and Odin. He currently has the Odin Force currently now. And if he so chooses to, has the power cosmic as well. And not on top of all of this, his original god Thor powers on top of all of this.
You know what I think it
still
is?
Not to mention Warriors Madness or the belt.
God bless. Yeah. You know what I think it is? I genuinely think Jason Aaron is so triggered by the idea that Donny Cates is doing a better job in everything than he has done, that he's just throwing shit at the fan and seeing what sticks. He's just like, oh yeah. Jason Aaron's like, oh yeah, this is such a unique thing. You know, we've never seen this happen before in the Marvel Universe. Don't think about Heroes Reborn that happened in 1991. That was literally this exact same story, basically, but outside of, you know, Squadron Supreme taking over the Avengers. We just rewrote the entire Marvel landscape for 6 years, and guess what? It didn't work last time, and it's not going to work this time. Like, nobody gives a flying fuck. Fuck Jason Aaron.
I do have to say, I'm surprised that Jason Aaron chose. So correct me if I'm wrong here. Jason Aaron was behind War of the Realms, correct? That's why he has the tattoo.
That was his big thing.
Right, he has the tattoo to commemorate it. So, the thing that gets me is that it's weird that he would pick Blade for such an important role, which I give him credit. It is true that in a situation like this, Blade would be unaffected. You know, we know this from Mighty Avengers. But his depiction of Blade in War of the Realms was strongly underwhelming. And it was like really unfair to the character, especially with what Avengers in its first, steps was accomplishing with Blade for modern day comics, for up-to-date comics. So I am greatly shocked. Like I'm appreciative as a Blade fan, but then I'm also shocked too, because it's like, man, you're still doing our character, injustice. Like, first off, on the artwork, you're really fucking him on the artwork, and then on the outfit, you're fucking him on the outfit. When it comes to like the, a power scale, I'm pretty sure you're gonna fuck him there too. You know, like
so ultimately, what it comes down to is you like
right because you fuck people like Thor. You know what I mean? Like as Admin Magic just said, like you fucked over the power scaling between Power Princess, Hyperion, and Thor. Like, come on, bro. Come on, Man Gog blood. Come on, bro.
See, to follow up with that as well, he literally talks about how, like, oh yeah, so these big points in Marvel's universe history happened, but differently, right? Slightly differently. The characters are still involved. You have Blade, who isn't affected, right? You should have Thor that isn't meant to be affected, and Wolverine should be bopping right everywhere because it's made clear that when a universe is rewritten, that oh yeah, well, Wolverine's regenerative abilities is so good that it can bring back all of his old memories that were just wiped from the universe, because that's happened. But no,
it has.
Fuck Jason Aaron.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about the time Wolverine went to go murder a man and another version of Wolverine showed up to stop him. Here's
the thing. What if this Jason Aaron thing is the missing piece to Wolverine's memory loss?
They turn Black.
What if this Jason Aaron thing is a Twitter attack to Admin Thor?
It is. It is. It really is.
Yo, what if he puts what if Thor calls somebody like Morrison Jordan in the fucking book or something? Like, what if he lets someone? Like, what if
Robert get name dropped?
What if Thor like saves a bunch of people and one person that dies? His name is like Morrison J.
No, it's far worse than that, right? It's going to be like Thor's dropped the hammer, and then it's going to be some really over it cartoonishly skinny white dude going to pick up the hammer. It's like, stop playing Morrison J. You're not worthy to pick up Thor's hammer.
But no, here's even worse about Thor. Since we're mentioning that part, Thor is an atheist, and he does not like hammers in this Heroes Reborn universe. So
wait, what?
Yeah. In this Reborn universe, he is an atheist.
Well, is this because is it because it was already taken that there was the cult of Thors in a different timeline? He was like, oh well, we can't go that direction.
I think if you were to do it a creative way, it would be it would be a continuation of what Nick Fury said when he said Gore was right. If you were to do it creatively. That's
a good point.
That would have been good, but I think it's just because he wants something for shock value. So it's just like, oh yeah, let's make Thor an atheist and he hates hammers.
Jason Aaron.
I think that might be dope. Actually, of all of the things I've heard, that might be the dopest thing.
I mean, yeah, because the 2099 timeline has the cult of Thors and all that. So you could
because Thor, like, we're talking about somebody who's like, okay, like at this point, I feel like he would realize that there's different pantheons. Well, he knows that there's different pantheons. Like, why would I feel like he should like redefine the term.
What I think? I think all these depictions because we saw in the trailer, right? Not even the interview. We saw in the trailer for Heroes Reborn that there's this whole thing where Blade shows up to Thor and they're at a bar or whatever, and Thor's getting slapped drunk. Like, I think we need to move past this Thor getting slapped drunk stuff. Like, we gotta move past this, man. Right? Like, it doesn't make any sense to the character. You're saying this dude can literally go swallow a sun, but the nigga can't handle some alcohol and even 0.5. Like, come on, man.
Look,
so,
man. It's a staple.
Let's just give the synopsis that is on and I know you're only supposed to take this as a research thing, but Heroes Reborn 2021. Welcome to a world where Tony Stark.
Okay, this is the part where I'm walking away from you.
Where Tony Stark never built an Iron Man suit, where Thor is a hard-drinking atheist who despises hammers, where Wakanda is a myth, and where Captain America was never found in the ice because there was no Avengers to find him. Instead, this world has always been protected by Earth's mightiest heroes, the Squadron Supreme of America. And now the Squadron Supreme faces an attack from some of their fiercest enemies, such as Dr. Juggernaut, which is, once again, Dr. Doom.
That sounds cool. That definitely sounds cool.
The Black Skull, which is, of course, Red Skull with Venom. And then the Silver Witch, which is, of course, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. And then, of course, Thanos with his Infinity Rings. Blade.
Okay, now time about. Mm-hmm. Does Doom keep all his mystical abilities?
Fuck that for a second, right? Did you just say Thanos and his infinity rings?
Thanos and his infinity rings. Yes.
Yeah, he has rings.
He has rings now. He has rings.
They just turned him.
I turned him into a pimp, possibly.
Yeah, they just turned him into a pimp. Oh my.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, so this is how I feel about that. So now he doesn't need a whole.
So it's not the. Let
just-
me get this out. It's not a pimp thing. It's a Mandarin thing. I just wanted to point that out. It's a Mandarin thing. It's
Mandarin's a pimp as well.
No, but okay. So with the Doom thing, does he keep like his entire? Because now not only is he arguably the most powerful sorcerer, now you just made him pound for pound the most physical. Pound for pound, the physically most powerful person in the Marvel universe with Synderax powers.
Like I said, as far as I know, nothing's really like. Of course, there's no Avengers, but they never said really anything about like Doctor Doom being less than what he was. So we pretty much can assume it's pretty much maybe a less powerful version of Doctor Doom, but it's still Doctor Doom. He just has
he's still Doom. Because here's the thing: because if he keeps his magic, that's already magic that has him as arguably the most powerful sorcerer in all of Marvel. Arguably.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this is why I was going off in the. This is why I was going off in the chat about. I was like, this is breaking internet worthy because the Marvel universe is officially broken.
Yeah, like how do you? Because I'm honestly trying to think. Like, I mean, of course a reality warper could stop Doom, but like, who on the Squadron Supreme would be able to stop that?
Apparently,
Literally Power Princess.
Now.
Yeah. You know what
Power Princess.
You know what I think
now.
You know what I think what's going to happen? You know what I genuinely think what's going to happen? Do you know what the big reveal of this is going to be, right? I think that it is going to turn out to be comics printed in the Marvel 616 universe as Squadron Supreme propaganda. That's what it's got to be, bro. Because none of this makes sense.
This would be really funny if this was just like Hyperion living out his fantasy in Stark's Extremis 3.0 app.
And then what I want to happen is, see, after all this is comes out, see the next issue of Thor that Donny Cates brings out. It's just like 30 pages of Donny Cates slowly taking a shit on top of Heroes Reborn. This sounds terrible, and I just need it wiped out of existence.
Okay, here's the thing. I like it because it seems like they gave Doom another power up.
Of course you do.
Jordan hates it because Thor is going to get shit on it. He knows it.
This literally, like, and this is, like I said, I may be a DC person, but as a fan of just comics in period, I don't know what the fuck is going on over at Marvel, but somebody needs to fix this shit. Like,
I mean, that's how we felt about DC for the longest. So
I will personally deal with Donny Cates myself. I will get hired into Marvel just to slap him around.
Like, somebody at Marvel needs to fix this, because this is like, what would possess you? Like, I don't care if you were to just do another, like, if this was just a what if story, go balls crazy with it. Nobody cares. But the fact that you made one person realize and remember Earth 616, and then apparently it's some godly known power that made this whole thing happen. We don't know who made it happen.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so if Blade is the only person that's remembering how it was, I would assume in the end everything is going to go back to normal, and everything that happens is going to get wiped away.
Yeah, but technically, until they clear everything up, though, you're technically counting this as canon.
Oh, well, I mean, everything. I mean, but I don't know.
It also doesn't matter, right? Because what they've introduced and being able to rewrite the Marvel universe in such a way is stronger than anything they've shown. Because it has to be stronger than the Infinity Stones, because you can't change what the Infinity Stones are and all of a sudden they're turning them into rings. You can't change the fact that a bunch of characters you have in there were able to resist multiversal, like, reality manipulation, because we know
use the continuity stone.
Oh yeah, dead on. What do you call it? Because we know Franklin Richards really created the current multiverse that they're all fucking around in, right?
Yeah.
And
so this power has to be pretty much greater than the Marvel Omniverse.
Yeah, because you literally have can't change the Infinity Stones. They have to be stones, but all of a sudden they're rings. Franklin Richards' power, like some of the characters that he's introduced in that resisted that reality warping abilities. And yeah, it's just stupid. I feel like there's some characters in there that also should just be unaffected. You'd think like, Bast would be above whatever's going on and be like, yo, Black Panther, why are you running right now? Why are you not my bro? Why are you not the Black Panther? You don't think that's going to happen? Do you not think Thor's just going to be like, where's all my powers all of a sudden? You don't think Wolverine's just going to be like, hold up, what the fuck's going on here? Like, it's...
Or Franklin Richards, for that matter.
I mean, it's a story involving the Squadron Supreme. Where is Blue Marvel?
Blue Marvel, Spectrum, Captain Marvel, like
Vision.
You say so. You
Jason
say
Aaron.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna give it a chance.
I mean, for me right now, Man-Thing
it can't be worse
in this
than
Heroes
Civil War
Reborn story. Man-Thing in this Heroes Reborn story is definitely like the issues that I'm actually gonna go buy physical copies for.
My thing is, it can't be worse than Civil War 2.
Oh man, come on, man! Can we give the Civil War 2 thing a rest, man? God, it wasn't that bad.
That'll be for another day.
I really don't think it can be worse than Civil War 2.
Wasn't that bad?
We're not doing into this. We're not going. Let's don't feed into it. Fuck up.
We're not getting. That's another story for another day. Last topic of the day, which is this. We have the Synder Cut, and then of course there's rumors of the Ayer cut for the Suicide Squad, and then of course there's the Restore the Snyderverse. And then, of course, now there's a released the JJ cut for Star Wars.
Anything that gives me a Leto Joker, I am all for.
How do y'all feel about all these cuts being released? And do you think that they'll have any negative effect on the movie consumer, movie goer, on movie things in general? We'll start with Doom.
No, I think it's dope. As we sing with the Snyderverse, I don't think anybody's going to argue that the Snyderverse, the Snyder Justice League, was much better than the original Justice League, the one that we initially got. I don't think anybody's going to argue that.
Help me out. Answer something for me. And I mean, honestly, right? This isn't to be divisive, but if we watched the first X-Men movie again, right? And when you watched it, the special features had a bunch of deleted scenes. When you go to the special features and watch those deleted scenes, or if you go to the option that allows the movie to play the runtime and then add in those deleted scenes, did that make the movie better?
I never did that with X-Men, so I couldn't answer that.
I mean, but sometimes.
Let's see, like with Origins. Let's use.
Well, hold up. Let me make sure I'm being very. Let me make sure that you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're talking about just deleted scenes in general. Well, you go back and watch
the point. Scenes. Yeah, the point is like the premise of the movie doesn't change. Did you just enjoy the new scenes? But the premise of the movie you watched didn't change.
I think had Snyder, but this falls under everything, and I've been saying this from the very beginning. Anything involving Batman and Superman should always be Snyder directed, Nolan written. I've been saying that from the very beginning.
Oh yeah, because there's enough movies for Christopher Nolan to steal from. Cough, cough. Dark Knight.
Yeah, because they did such a good job with Man of Steel.
They didn't.
BVS was not as bad as everybody makes it seem. It wasn't.
I agree with you. BVS is not as bad as people make it out to be.
It wasn't great, but it wasn't trash. But so I just feel like giving us another director's point of view, at least the director that was initially supposed to do its point of view, would be dope. If Marvel fired Kevin Feige tomorrow, I want to see everything that he had lined up that he'd already worked on.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that.
I think.
Okay,
sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead. No, I'll go off on a rant.
No, because I was gonna go off on a rant too. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. My biggest issue of this cut stuff is, right, first of all, Zack Snyder's cut shit, right? The fact of the matter is, when you find out that a 10-foot pool filled with shit is actually 15 feet deep, it doesn't make it better. It's the same fucking plot of the movie, right? It is not enjoyable still. It's not a good movie, right? Like, only in comparison to the original, it's a good movie. Standalone movie, it's crap, right? Besides from that, with the Suicide Squad one, I'm pretty sure I saw the director comment on some of the stuff. I was like, yeah, there is no director's cut. I don't know how like thing that is, like solid that is, but I'm pretty sure the director just said, yeah, there's no director's cut of my thing because I didn't make one. That's just the way I.
Oh, he was probably like, because I'm an adult and I've been a director, professional. You know, I know how to make a movie under 4 hours.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. See, this is the way I'm looking at it, though. People love it because with Batman versus Superman, it's not like we had to go to the movie theaters to watch it. Like, I think it'd be dope if like DC released all of their different cuts on their DC app.
No, I have an issue with that because you're literally, so instead of making the one movie, you're making like 3 versions of the same movie just to make more money, only for one of them to be like canonical, because they're hardly going to keep on bringing out sequels to different cuts of the movie, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be shit. Like, they're just going to turn out shit that everyone's going to go watch it for.
I mean, but these movies are already
already
alternate universes, so you might as well make another alternate universe off of what someone else would have done.
Yeah,
but the thing is, they're not like, if it wasn't for Justice League doing so horrible, if
all of DC doing so horrible,
the Snyder Cut would have been the accepted cut in 2017. This wouldn't even be a discussion. They would be moving on to Aquaman 2, Flash, and things of that nature. But the fact that the Justice League did so horrible, and because of the controversy, of course, of Snyder's daughter committing suicide, things of that nature, blah, 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 and it's restored a Snyder Cut. The only reason why it even came back in the first place is because of fans. But like Thor was saying, I do not want them to continuously make bad movies and then say, hypothetically, oh yeah, our movie was bad because Warner Brothers or because Marvel Studios was doing, or Disney was doing too much meddling. So now we're going to charge you again for a cut that should have been there in the first place, because the Justice League original was crap. The only thing that the Snyder Cut added was some character development for Barry Allen and Cyborg. That's it. Everything else you could have seen was a part of the special edition of the Justice League, just like the special editions of the Suicide Squad, which I have in my room.
Man, can we talk about that elephant in the room? It had reshoots.
Yeah.
Like reshoots. Jesus, it had reshoots. And this man had 2 years, 2 strong years to listen to every heavy criticism the movie got under his fucking direction. And that Josh Whedon tried, I don't care what nobody says, Josh Whedon didn't sabotage him. Josh Whedon tried to cut down a movie for which the studio was already having issues with him for way before his daughter's incident. We know this because there was reports on it already. Like, no. So this man literally had more than enough time to get ridiculed, see where he failed at, then go back and reshoot some stuff, and it still didn't change the premise of the movie.
Really?
It was fan service based on literally, it was fan service based on literally all the complaints people had in Reddit forums.
It was definitely, I'll argue that. It was definitely, I still think.
Yeah, you should
remember, I love Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel is one of the greatest modern adaptations of a comic book movie to silver screen, if not the best. I say this, and I've never changed my mind on this. But at the same time, never forget that when Zack Snyder did Man of Steel, he said himself that the way he viewed the comic book mythos landscape, like, he didn't truly understand it. Which is why, like, he tried to throw romance in there. And he said, right, he was like, that's why he kept trying to throw romance into Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. Like, because he didn't really know how to develop the characters who had decades of development. It doesn't make any sense. You don't even have to be American to know who Superman is. Superman is in a damn dictionary. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you were the most perverted man on earth, as a pervert, you know, when your shit stand up, you're Superman. Like, you know Superman through and through. And you're talking about he didn't have development pre-existing before you got your hands on it? No, you're a great visual director. Nothing more, nothing less. Because if we started picking apart all Zack Snyder stuff, you literally only have 2 good movies under your belt. No, I'm sorry. No, 2 good movies under your belt. Watchmen, Man of Steel. Period.
I don't think Watchmen was that great.
Say what you will. Say what you will, but it was close to the It was close to the novel as hell.
See, and that's probably why I don't think it was that great. Because I feel like it was a page for page what the book was.
Well, yeah, they did the nuke instead of the creature.
Then damn Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, where you're trying to call comic book fans kids, and this is not your kid story anymore, even though he has 80 years worth of character development, and you just throw that in the trash.
I mean, just because
you want to have
say something like that, bro. Just the fact that you would even say something like that. Like, first off, being older only makes you more bitter. But when you enjoy entertainment, that makes you a big kid. I don't care if you go to Dave & Buster's, which is literally big kids playground that with alcohol. It's the big kids playground with alcohol. Like, if you go to Dave & Buster's, if you go out to a bar
Six
to play
Flags.
pool, if you go anytime you indulge in entertainment as an adult, you are a big kid. You are looking for something to entertain you. Point blank, period. Like, that's just how it is. So to sit here and say that, like, this isn't your kids anymore. First off, fiction is fiction. There's no such thing as like watching a movie that's not literally some autobiography. There's literally no biopic. That's not a biopic as like something that's not based on some comic or comic novel. That's something we need to change as a society, period. But that's just the fact of the matter. When you watch the Yaya Sisterhood, like, unless that was a real sisterhood, it's a novel. Right. And if it was a novel that is based on fictional characters, when you watch it, horror movie or not, fictional characters, so on and so forth, it's all entertainment.
And like I said, it's one thing to have a different turn or twist on something, but if you're using iconic symbols, because Batman and Superman are no longer characters, those are ideologies and symbols. There is a certain way you have to portray those characters, and if you do it poorly, it will be seen as poorly. And Zack Snyder got every bit of what he deserved when fans are going after him because you changed the Batman character to be a killing machine. Let's call it what it is. He was a killing machine.
But
in his defense, Batman treated the Martians pretty bad in the comics. I'm just saying.
Like, come on. See, I don't know. I think the bar for DC movies is already so low.
I mean, true. And as a DC fan, understand why. Marvel, for all the gripes that people have about Marvel movies being too kid friendly or whatever the case may be, Marvel set a standard and a bar that has not been able to be catch up to, not by DC, not by horror films, not by almost any cinema, period.
Respect, because that is the truth. Everyone's trying to catch up with the format.
Everybody is trying to do a cinematic universe since Marvel was able to do it correctly, and nobody's been able to catch up with it. And
I think Star Wars had a chance to. But I think like that latest 3 Star Wars movies kind of
let's be real. I'm not even a Star Wars fan, and I know for a fact that the Star Wars universe isn't even in this conversation. When George Lucas still had control over his property, even when George Lucas was still in control, fans didn't want him messing up the story. Like, that's how you know it's not even in the conversation. The man who was putting it all together, the fans had a problem with the way he was taking the story.
But see, this is the thing about Star Wars, because they've already acknowledged everything is canon. Comic books, pretty much everything is canon. Like, the games aren't canon, but like the comic books, the comic books, the shows, the movies, they're all one big ass story.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, that newest game is canon, bro.
Dark Souls is after everything past 2011, when Disney bought Star Wars is canon. Anything before it's not canon, but anything that's been brought out under that banner is canon.
Okay, so
of course,
add that to my point. But then you still have the TV shows. It's all one big ass story, so it's kind of hard to add on to stuff. It's kind of hard to give the people, because I guarantee a Vader movie, a legit Vader movie like they did the comic, would fucking kill. They could do it. They could do a new trilogy. Vader,
so here's the problem. Here's the problem I'm having with what you're saying, because that's 2011, correct? Right, and it's the Star Wars universe, and you're saying that Star Wars now has this connected universe, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. This is after the birth of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which literally started in one of two movies, the Hulk and Iron Man. So again, everyone, as I don't know if Thor actually agreed, but as me and Magic said, everyone has tried to follow suit since.
No. Let's see that. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying Star Wars is the only one.
It's 2012, by the way. I just wanted to double check that. It's 2012 was when Disney bought Star Wars, not 2011.
So that's 4 years. 4 years after Iron Man.
Which is when the culmination of the Marvel Cinematic Universe hit its first thing with the Avengers that released
the
that
Avengers,
summer.
yeah, in 2012. I saw that shit 8 times in theaters.
Let's not forget, because you mentioned games. Like, let's not forget the impact that the Lego Avengers game had on like that whole product, right? Because everything Lego did after that tried to consistently follow suit with that. Because you can't go back and say like, oh yeah, when I played what was it, episode 3, like Lego Avengers, it's the same as like the Legos Star Wars I played after that. Like
yeah. So, but yeah, no, like for me, like the movie industry as a whole, getting back to the thing, like I don't want movie producers or movie execs to have an excuse to charge extra, because think about this: we saw the original Justice League in theaters, or you saw it in theaters, and now you have the Snyder Cut, which you had to go and pay for HBO Max to do, and had to subscribe to HBO Max, or if you copyright, you pirate it, you found a way to get somebody's account.
We are not condoning this.
We don't
behavior.
condone that, but it happens.
We don't condone it, but we understand.
It is the only way you should have watched the movie, though. But I don't condone that behavior.
Yeah,
it's like
that's the thing. So now you had to pay at least $8 to $15.
It's like $14
to $30 in theaters for Justice League. Then you had
it's like $40, but I got that shit free. I got AT&T. I got HBO Max for free.
Nice flex, bro.
Well, yeah, what is this? You're trying to flex your HBO Max?
Because you got AT&T. But anyway, then you had to pay $12 to $15 for HBO Max. So essence, you're paying double for the same movie in a 2 hour more runtime, because that's all it added. Because the Justice League was already 2 hours, so you just added 2 more. and I can tell you what exactly those 2 hours are. There's 30 minutes for Cyborg. There's 30 minutes for Barry Allen. There's
Can we just go ahead? Can we
30 minutes for the beginning, and then there's
quick?
extra added 30 minutes for the end and the epilogue. That's your entire your entire 2 hours added extra. All you did was add extra stuff in reshoots and new scenes. That's all you did. And so
you're 100% delete movies in slow-mo, by the way.
Am I the only person that hates the way that the Flash's powers work on screen?
See, yeah. I don't mind how his powers work. I hate how he runs, because it's that speed skate, it's that speed ice skating thing where they do in the
Shadow the Hedgehog shit.
No, hell no! Don't you dare disrespect Sonic the Hedgehog like that ever again.
No. I said Shadow.
He said Shadow.
The way Shadow does it, like Shadow, like speed skates.
Oh yeah. In the games, they have him do that stupid crap. But anyways, no. But yeah, no. I love his thing. But no,
you would never see that in Tough Skin Comics.
This is true. Thank the Lord. But no, you'll never I don't want to see an Ayers cut. I definitely don't want to see a J.J. Abrams Star Wars cut, because no, it's already been proven that y'all had no plan from episode 7 to 8 to 9, and you were just winging it.
Anytime they've ever said cut to anything, it's never ended well. I mean, Snyder cut, Paris Hilton cut. It's just never.
Snyder cut ended well.
The only way you can fix these kind of things, right, is not bring out some random movie, like new cut of a movie. The best thing you can do is be like, yeah, that isn't what we're doing anymore. Just cut it completely, and then
Or-
not make the same movie that was just added runtime. Just make a brand new movie, or you
just
know, you bring out a book.
Take a page from Sega's book. When the people complained about their shit, they changed their entire damn movie, and it was great.
Or you could do what you have been doing.
They didn't change the entire movie. They
Man,
changed the animation of the
they
character.
changed the animation style of it.
Yeah.
Or you can just do what they've been doing. Just have a director's cut. Just have the director's cut. You and that way you're not charging people double. It's just like, okay, when this thing go out the
but you got to buy the DVD to get the director's cut.
But hey, that's what you've been doing.
You bought HBO Max. I'm sorry. I was about to say, you bought AT&T and got access.
This is why I say that. This is why I say that. We are, and this is why I love our generation. We are experiencing what our parents experienced when the 8-track went out of style. You know, or when cassette tapes went out of style. They was, yeah, sure, they were still there, but like slowly but surely, anything having even when you buy cars don't come with CD players or DVD players anymore. Even when you buy like the PS4, that bitch doesn't even play Blu-ray anymore like the PS3 did. Like we're slowly getting to a system where CDs, discs are becoming obsolete. You're going to have to go the streaming route. Like streaming is literally taking over. We're experiencing what our parents experienced.
You're losing me here. What is this tapes. Part of the argument?
One second, just so I can be clear. Where did you buy your PS4? Did you buy it off like some like weirdo at the back?
Yo, you see me because I was like, when he said it didn't play Blu-rays, I was like, what?
Okay, when the PS4 was first dropped, they didn't play Blu-ray. They didn't.
I think you bought a faulty PS4, my dude.
No, when the PS4 was first dropped, they did not play Blu-ray.
I think you're talking about the PS5. The PS5 doesn't have a Blu-ray player in it at all. Like
no, when the PS4, because I remember when I first bought my PS4, I was mad because I couldn't watch Iron Man.
When you first bought
did you get your PS4 in the cliff, my nigga?
Yeah,
actually no, I bought it when I was in the military.
Yeah, did you get it shipped from the cliff when you was in the military?
No, I bought it on post.
Because I can tell you right now, I had the big boxy PS4 and it always played DVDs. Anyway,
yeah, it plays DVDs, but it didn't play Blu-ray. DVDs.
What are you talking about?
DVDs, but it didn't play Blu-ray.
What are you talking about? I watched the Lord of the Rings on my
I wish I still had my first PS4 just to prove y'all wrong.
I genuinely think you bought your PS4 out the back of the van.
The first PS4 did not play Blu-ray.
Bro, before I got my Pro, I played the Lord of the Rings on my shit, no problem.
I genuinely think you bought your PS4 out the back of a van. It didn't come with wires or anything. You had to buy that separately.
He had an Xbox, bro. He's just playing with a PlayStation controller.
Here's the thing. My point still stands, though. We're literally experiencing what our parents experienced. We're watching what we grew up with. We're watching it become extinct. Because
so you're saying that
I'm not understanding where you going with this argument.
No,
I'm saying streaming services are taking over. Pretty soon, DVDs will become obsolete. The PS5, literally, there's a digital-only version of the PS5 already.
Hold on, wait, but you're going right-wing Republican right now. What are you arguing about?
I'm arguing.
No, I'm trying. No, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out if he's saying that since there'll be no more DVDs in the future, there'll be no more chances to have a director's cut. You'll only be able to get technically the director's cut on a streaming service. Am I getting this argument correct?
Yes. It's still a stream, but it's still a feature. But it doesn't matter. Since Spider-Man came out, you can get a digital copy of a movie. What are you talking about? And that's totally that's Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
My point was the DVDs themselves will become obsolete pretty fucking soon.
But this has nothing to do with losing the director cut feature.
Oh no, I never said get rid of the director.
But that's what Magic was trying to rationalize.
I swear to God, I'll throw this. I swear to God.
I'm just saying. If you're gonna keep the director cut feature, you might as well keep the entire concept of an alternate, basically a Snyder cut, so to speak, another artist or the other artist. I think the Snyder cut is so specific though because he got kicked off the project.
That's not going to get
but see, here's the thing though. It start like with anything else, like the Avengers and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Marvel Cinematic Universe before the Avengers was something small. and thought it was only going to be a one-time thing because we all thought it was going to fail. But then
Who thought it was going to fail?
But then the Avengers blew up.
I don't think anybody thought the Avengers were going to fail after. I think when we saw Iron Man 1.
Right, no, you don't get to talk about what failed.
Because
I don't think anybody thought the Avengers.
We never had seen all the heroes in one movie together.
Yeah, and I have to point out too, but no one thought having that many big names, because they had the separate movies, remember? Nobody thought having that big names in one film, which a film that had never been done like that before, was going to be successful. Keep in mind,
I definitely think people knew it was going to be successful. I don't think people knew it was going to be
no. We know that this was a thing because DC had an attempt where they were going to do a Justice League movie. Remember, they had already had the cast. Remember, Common was casted as
Green Lantern,
John Stewart.
Yeah.
So
but DC movies have always sucked.
I don't agree with you there because I love the Tim Burton movies. The one with
Batman.
You
just love Batman Forever.
I mean, I like Batman Forever. I like Batman and Robin because I understand the premise of Batman and Robin. Like it regardless of the facts, though, like DC has had great movie runs, so I don't know what you're saying. Anyway, nonetheless, no movie had ever been done like this. This is why DC didn't actually end up sticking with that project because it was too risky anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, they had already casted and was shooting scenes with Nicolas Cage as Superman.
You know what it is, bro?
Like they realized that was a mistake and scrapped it.
I don't think
nobody wants to see Nick Cage as Superman.
I like
just
Nick
to bring
Cage.
It back for a second. How do you think DVDs are going to be obsolete when it's such a money pool? You literally bring the DVDs
are going to be obsolete within the next maybe 10 to 15 years.
No, because you bring the DVDs out, everyone buys them, and then later on down the line, you sell your rights to a streaming service and you get more money as well on top of that. They're never going to become obsolete.
I feel like DVDs and CDs are pretty much in the same boat right now. Again,
well, I'm gonna say that I could actually see the DVD style going obsolete, but I don't see film to home to take it home. You know what I mean? Like take home and whatever kind of casing. Because never forget that we also had Laserdisc. You know what I mean? Like, and Laserdisc didn't last long, which is something I'm surprised you didn't bring up because you brought up 8 tracks. But nonetheless, like I could see like movies moving to flash drives or something similar to flash drive, but I agree with Thor.
You know what? Now that you bring that up, I realized that I was saying streaming service. I meant just pure digital media versus streaming services. Yeah. So I do realize that I did say streaming services, and that's probably what a disconnect was.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but I still do think DVDs themselves are going to be obsolete.
Haters. Anyways.
Haters.
Damn. So I want to kill off Batman and goddamn suicide.
Think about it. Here's the thing. Our parents never thought cassette tapes would go out of style. And now them bitches ain't being made.
I'm 100% sure that our parents thought 8 tracks would go out of style.
I didn't say tracks.
I said cassette. Because the thing is, as soon as this cassette tape came into play, the 8-track went out the way.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure they never thought cassette tapes would really. Because let's think about it. Cassette tapes had a good 2-decade run.
There's no way people who used to listen to tracks on records didn't think as records became obsolete, the next thing wouldn't become obsolete. Remember, we come from a world where people are still expecting holographic imagery to be the way to do phone calls.
1 second.
You're right. You might be right on that one. I'm still
Besides, it's such a niche market. Like things that have been thrown out the window are not obsolete. Still, vinyls still get brought out on a constant basis, even though Spotify is destroying.
I think the retro wave kind of made that comeback because everybody wants to be retro now. So vinyls are being brought back.
Yeah, so CDs and DVDs won't like.
I blame millennials for that because we realize.
Yeah, but vinyls have always been, as Thor said, a niche thing because just like with the physical comic argument, it's the same thing. There's nothing like having, for those people who appreciate it, there's nothing like having that big record player sitting in your den or your living room. You can run over and flip it. Like people love it.
I blame millennials for vinyls coming back. We realized that was a cool ass concept and brought it back.
I genuinely think you're a hidden millennial. You always shit talk millennials no matter what everything you do.
You said what?
I genuinely think you're a millennial, bro. Everything you say comes out of your mouth is just so annoying. That's what millennials are, innit?
Yo, millennial.
No,
yo,
that's actually
think
your
about it, bro.
generation,
Millennials
don't worry.
are, but millennials. First of all, millennials are the greatest.
I'm not a
generation.
millennial, bro. What am I?
I don't know, man. You're all boomers. I hate you all.
Thor is Thor. You're Gen Z, I believe.
Yes, but
You just turned 21.
Fine,
You're Gen Z. You're them Tide Pod eating motherfuckers.
so Doom is the only one that agrees and likes director cut editions after the movie's already been made,
I'll take that.
failed, and everything else, and everybody else is on the smart side. So
I think Doom's like, he's the one kid who's like, oh, y'all went to Brahms, I'm gonna hang out at the ice cream truck. He that kind of nigga, you know what I mean?
But
y'all went to Brahms, I went to Whataburger.
oh my god, I haven't had Whataburger. But anyway, before we get on to another tangent, we're gonna end this here. This has been Nerd Combat with Thor, Doom, and Negro Lantern. Thank you so much for viewing us on our revamp.
Oh, tell me, I got a question for the people.
Okay, spit your question.
And
Man, that is so
fans.
unprofessional.
This is for the wrestling fans. Leave your comments here. How the hell? Because I don't know how to. I think the WWE Hall of Fame thing is rigged. How the hell did the Bella Twins get in the Hall of Fame before
Shut your
Fable?
whore mouth. Hurry up and end this. Don't get started.
Wait. You're trying to go into WWE? That's a different subject. Anyway,
Yeah, that's a question for the fans.
No, it's not. Anyways, we'll moving on. Jeez.
Can you imagine saying we'll have those fans?
Hell, we're gonna try to keep us. I will let people know in the next coming weeks what our uploading schedule will be. Of course, we're all in different areas and all different places. But thank you so much for all of us here at Nerds of Combat. Peace. Have a good one.
That's a serious question, though. Answer that question.
Oh my God.